Arnold Schwarzenegger says there is no Netflix series of Conan the Barbarian, and Fredrik Malmberg, the president of Heroic Signatures, responds. Let's look at this mess. It's whole kind of mixed messaging going on here, guys. Let's hit it. Hello and welcome to World of Conan, and today we are talking about some crazy news that just hit in the past few days from the Hollywood Reporter by an interview of Arnold Schwarzenegger, where he says there is no Netflix deal concerning Conan the Barbarian, and that he was in contact with Netflix and they knew nothing about. But then that's not what we've heard from Heroic Signatures president Fredrik Malmberg beforehand. So this is all kind of like who's saying what's true, what's not. Is it just mixed messaging, or is it true that there just never was anything happening at Netflix? Anyway, but the bigger news is that we get some quite big news actually from this whole mess, and that is no Netflix series seems to be on the horizon, but a possible movie with a true Conan fan seems to be in process. So that's pretty huge news, guys. Huge news. That does make like kind of strange the whole what's been happening these few years, and it's no wonder that us fans are left confused when it seems that both of the different parties here, Heroic Signatures and Arnold Schwarzenegger, seem to be not in agreement what's been happening these past few years. I don't know if it's like I said, mixed messaging, or someone is just not really happy at all with how it all went down. Who knows? But let's look at this article here. So, live action Conan the Barbarian series no longer at Netflix, possible film in the works. Now that's huge news here. Possible film in the works. And like we're gonna see later on in this article, it's by a true Conan fan, according to Fredrik Malmberg. Now, in the last video I made, we looked at the Texas Howard Days conference, and they talked about that about these TV things and what they're trying to do. That they're really trying to find someone who would honor Robert E. Howard's work in making these products or IPs, these characters, and not make the same mistake that was made with the Jason Momoa movie, which was a complete disaster. I'm sorry, but it just was. You picked all the wrong people for it. So, but anyway, I digress. Let's check out this article. A new report details that the live-action Conan the Barbarian series is no longer happening on Netflix, but a possible film might be in the works. This new report comes after comments made by Arnold Schwarzenegger to the Hollywood Reporter, where he said that Netflix didn't know anything about a live-action Conan series. Now this is very strange. Specifically, Schwarzenegger told the outlet, "It's been pending for the last 10 years. Fredrik Malmberg owns the rights. He comes to me and says, 'Oh, I have a deal with Netflix.' And when we ask Netflix, they don't know anything about it. It's one of those crazy things I hope he figures out." He added, "I think you do it like Unforgiven, where you play the age. There's a great script out there that John Milius wrote, and others have written one. The story is there. There are directors who want to do it, but he has the rights, and until he sells the rights for one or two movies or for the franchise, there's nothing you can do about it." And this is, I think, a huge mistake. That was just my opinion, but it's a huge mistake in my opinion that this is a missed opportunity. You should at least right now just speed through and make the King Conan Crown of Iron movie, just to get closure, I think, for the whole Conan Arnold Schwarzenegger Conan thing because of us, all of us fans. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, and I became a Conan fan through that movie. So I think to be like, that's one of the things that us fans have really wanted, to have like an old Conan, and just give it a nice, basically, closure to the whole thing. And you could easily make that just, the script is there, the thing is there, just speed through it, and then, but also concurrently make a new Conan with a younger Conan, and truly something along the ways of Robert E. Howard's stories, like really hone in on that. I think that would be the best approach, but then again, of course, I'm not the money man, so there's probably a lot of money that would go to two movies making, and kind of like two different things. I mean, I know it's a risk, but there's a big audience for Arnold Schwarzenegger's Conan, I would think. So I don't know. I think that would be a really cool idea. I mean, doesn't Tencent own basically everything now? So I mean, they should have a lot of money. So, but anyway, I digress. Let's look at this. What do you guys think? You think you like my two movie idea? Like, just get a closure to all the Schwarzenegger stuff, and then move on with the new stuff, or like it now seems to be, they chucked it all out and just going with the new Conan. I mean, they've had, like Arnold said, 10 years to make a Crown of Iron, and I think that is a missed opportunity. They should have just done that one and just then moved on. They could have easily. I mean, you had Milius back, and I mean, say what you want, but Milius is a great director with a good scriptwriter. I mean, just look at the original Conan the Barbarian movie. It really, even though, like I said millions of times, is not faithful 100% to the Robert E. Howard stuff, but it's faithful to the spirit of the Hyborian Age, the spirit of Howard's writing, the characters, the music, all like transcends in that sense to Robert E. Howard, even though the story itself is original, or like not one of Howard's stories, and it gave us a great Thulsa Doom and great, just wonderful music and wonderful images. But anyway, reacting to Schwarzenegger's comments, Heroic Signature's president Fredrik Malmberg wrote on Twitter, "Great article. We spent 3 years with Netflix and talked to them about Arnold several times. We are now working with a major filmmaker who is great and a true Conan fan. We'll share more when I can by Chrome." Now here is the news that they talked about it with Arnold several times. So I don't really know. Like, once again, there's kind of like different things going on, because from an earlier interview there was that they didn't want to really do Arnold's Conan anymore. This by Malmberg himself, if I remember correctly from the Midnight Edge interview, where they wanted to go with the newer or a younger Conan, and so that's why they went with Momoa and stuff like that. And so here again, now it's kind of like shifted to that they did talk about with Arnold several. I know they talked about with Arnold before, but what I meant was that they didn't really want to make one with Arnold, even though they did talk with him. So anyway, like I said, this has me confused from all these different interviews. Who said what? He said, she said. It just right. So who knows anymore? Andre Enher of Midnight Saints would also reach out to Malmberg to clarify the status of the live action series on Netflix. Malmberg informed him that Conan was no longer at Netflix, saying, "Yes, we worked and talked and spent good time, but ultimately didn't come to fruition. That's Hollywood. Onwards and upwards. Yeah, I mean, Netflix is kind of like a 50-50. You never know. You could get something good, or you can get something complete trash. It all really depends on who's doing what over there. And there's been some really bad stuff coming out on Netflix as well. So, who knows? It's best to right now focus on getting someone, like I hopefully see them doing, that someone who's actually focused on being true to Howard's vision and just fixate on that, get that first, and then the rest of things will follow. Doesn't matter if it takes a bit more time, just get it right, because then you can build on that and go from victory to victory, and not go through the whole Momoa Conan debacle again. Einherjar also said he asked Malmberg if he was working with someone else. Einherjar didn't provide how Malmberg replied to this inquiry, but he did say he did not give me a straight answer, but his use of emojis suggests to me that yes, there's someone else in the wings, though that someone else has not been announced. As for what went wrong with the deal at Netflix, Einherjar said he didn't offer any more details than he already had, namely that it didn't come to fruition. As for Schwarzenegger's comments about the John Milius script, he explains that it was almost adapted to film as King Conan Crown of Iron, like I was talking about. However, he dropped out due to his political aspiration as governor of California. Yeah, that was like a long before, but what I was talking about when he stopped being the governor and he came back to movies, then there was this window of making it, and even after Jason Momoa debacle, after that, like a window to make it, like Arnold said, but for one reason or another, they for some reason just didn't think there would be any idea to make one with Arnold one last time, which I think is a missed opportunity and a misfire, in my opinion. I mean, I could be wrong, obviously, but it's still the movie that launched Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it has been hugely influential. So just like he returned to Terminator, obviously that's maybe not the greatest example, I mean, but then again, those movies also suffered from bad writing, bad scripts, but yeah, anyway. And I also said by the time he had left office, he had aged out of the Milius script, so there's no reason to even bring it up. Even so, Malmberg gave the Conan movie rights to Arnold by way of Universal, who said about developing Legend of Conan, now featuring Arnold's Unforgiven pitch, or more accurately, David Gammel's Legend, with Bruce rewritten into Arnold's Conan, because that's what it was said to be. By the way, Legend is a great book series. The David Gammel's books are fantastic. Great fantasy reads if you want more Conan-esque heroes and stuff like that. I really recommend it. I've read them all. Really great series. More than that, this was the last chance to do a King Conan movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He elaborated. This was the last time a studio with the resources to make such a movie contemplated actually doing so. This was when there was a script and there was a director, and that would be Miguel Sapochnik of later Game of Thrones and House of Dragon fame. And lest we forget, they had the rights. All Universal had to do was give the green light, but they chose not. Okay, this is news to me, so that's okay. So it seems now that it wasn't on part of Heroic Signatures, but it was on part of Universal who did not give the green light, and they were actually close to getting the movie done. Okay, so that's Universal's fault, and that's too bad. Well, then Arnold shouldn't be throwing shade at Malmberg then, because it seems he had given the rights to make a Legend of Conan movie. Like I said, this whole mess is such a mishmash, confusing mixed message. Oh, dude, guys, you guys figure it out. I have no clue what's going on anymore. Just give us some good Conan content, okay? That's all. True. Yeah, but as a fan, yeah, I would have really wished one last hurrah with Arnold's Conan. I don't know if it's feasible anymore, even though I said earlier, but it's maybe not. Well, who knows. As for why they chose not to inherit as Legend of Conan lost traction at Universal right around the time when Terminator Sega Genesis came out. And hey, come on now, Sega Genesis, that's a fantastic console, one of my favorites. I had one. I even still have one. Yeah, even I knew it by Mega Drive. That's the superior name. Came out and flopped. I actually liked the Sega Genesis Terminator. I know that's an unpopular opinion, and yes, it has its faults, and yes, it's a bit of a mismatch, but boy, was it better than Dark Fate though. His most iconic, but him returning to Terminator. Wait, Arnold's earlier post-Governor comeback movies also flopped. By him returning to Terminator, his most iconic role didn't excite audiences, caused them to second guess investing into the return of second most films. Yeah, that's fair in a way. So in the end, Universal pulled the plug and allowed the rights to revert because no other studio wanted to take it on. When this happened, Legend of Conan project developed by an exclusive for Universal was dead. It's not pending. The patient, maybe they mean the patent. The patient has expired. Legend of Conan is dead, he asserted. With the film dead, Malmberg pursued bringing Conan to a streaming service. First with Amazon and more recently with Netflix. However, as noted above, both of the pursuits failed, but Malmberg looks to still be pursuing a live-action Conan adaptation, but this time returning to the big screen. So that's pretty huge news, guys. Conan movie coming to your theaters. Not yet, but sometime. What do you make of the live-action Conan series? Not having Netflix. Are you interested in a new Conan live-action film? Are there any stories you would like to see a potential film like that? Yeah. Look, TV series are fantastic and great when they really hit it out of the park, but the latest that has been happening with TV series like Wheel of Time, Rings of Power, The Witcher have just shown that these kind of series with some dude or woman going about this iconic series or book series and just trashing them and making whatever they want, completely bastardizing them and making them basically unrecognizable. It's one of these. It's like it gives like an apprehension to the TV series. Apprehension to make a TV series, like it kind of feels, like we're gonna get like many seasons of Rings of Power and many seasons of Wheel of Time and many seasons of The Witcher, a lot of crap. But instead, like Jason Momoa's Conan, we got like one movie and that was it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's maybe less tarnish to the whole thing if it really goes south. Now, obviously, with a TV series, you can delve into a lot of stuff a lot more. So I see absolutely the appeal. But then again, on the other hand, a truly iconic movie, like say the Dollar trilogy by Sergio Leone, or like the first Conan the Barbarian movie with the beautiful music and awesome vistas and iconic villain and fantastic score, like I said, and all these things, you can see the appeal on the movie side. You can truly make it huge. So, like bigger than the TV series. Because let's face it, TV series, even though they were big, they're still confined usually. Even Game of Thrones, like they weren't. It was huge and massive, but still like something. Like Lord of the Rings was bigger and more epic and more massive in movie style. So like I'm kind of two minds about it. I'm really like thinking you can make a great movie from one of the Howard stories. You don't really need a season for it, but you can do it like that. So I'm okay with both, but I'm just thinking about the epicness of a movie, the greatness of a movie. So yeah. So yeah, it's a hard. Yeah, it's hard to say. There's pros and cons with both. But anyways, guys, what do you guys think? This whole fiasco is just mind-boggling. Just like shade throwing one way or the other, and who's right, who's wrong, but it seems Schwarzenegger is wrong here, or just. And besides, I've lost a lot of respect for Arnold in these last years, so he just, yeah. So it is what it is, but great movies he has made, but these last years just I lost a lot of respect for that guy. He just yeah. But enough about that. What do you guys think? Drop a comment below. It's still pretty huge news. Getting a movie is now the focus, so let's talk about it. See you next time.